Hello, everybody, and welcome to LCAT Sports presentation of 2014 varsity softball. Today, the Spartans take on Pittsfield as they look to get the sweep in April vacation week as they play their third matinee game after going 2-0 so far against Belchertown and Chicopee, mercying both teams. The Belchertown game, Spartans put on a clinic at the plate, hitting 5 home runs, which helped lead to a 17-5 win. And then yesterday they were on the road at Chicopee where they mercied the Pacers 15-1. It'll be Julia Decker on the mound for the Spartans today, and we'll be back for the starting lineups and the first pitch after this break. All right, we're ready to get underway here. And first pitch swing is the leadoff hitter for Pittsfield, as she'll weakly ground it to short and reach on the infield hit. I'm yet to receive a lineup for Pittsfield, so I don't have names, positions, or numbers. So this should be fun. Second batter looks at ball one outside from Decker. 1-1 count. Sunny day here at Birchland. Not really a cloud in the sky, but windy. As you can see, Spartans wearing sweatshirts and jackets out there defensively. As the batter looks at ball two. Wind blowing in today, so it'll be tough to push one out over the fence. As the second batter squares around a bunt, but fouls it off. That'll bring the count to 2-1. Square spun again, but fouls it off. And that'll even the count at 2-2. Decker's delivery is outside for a ball that'll get away from Pioji. And number 23 will move on to second base on the pass ball. So full count now to the batter. Payoff pitch is high for ball 4. So number 6 will reach on the walk. There'll be runners at first and second with no out here on the top of the first. So batter steps up to the plate. Decker's first pitch is swung on and hammered foul off the first base line into the JV field. So that'll bring the count to 0-1. Decker's second pitch is taken low and inside for a ball. 1-1 count now. Runners on first and second. No outs still here on the top of the first. Batter squares around the bunt, places the bunt down the third base line, picked up foul by Balboni. So that'll bring the count to 1-2. Pittsfield has an overall record of 2-1, although Mass Live is yet to record 2 games that they've played, so 2-1 with 2 unanswered games. That swung on and grounded foul down the third base line. They play in the Berkshire North class with Wacona, Drury, Taconic, and Mount Greylock. Pittsfield currently second, but that's without the 2 games that weren't counted on Mass Live. That pitch is swung on and fouled straight back to the backstop. I'll keep the count at 1-2. As the third batter stays alive. One-two pitch. Swung on and missed for a strikeout. So that's Decker's first strikeout of the game, first out of the game here in the top of the first. That'll bring up the fourth hitter for Pittsfield. Can't see a number from here. Still yet to receive their lineup as she squares around a bunt, places it back to Decker. She'll throw on to first for the out. Morosino covering as Lambert charged to play the bunt. So that'll be move runners over to second and third. 2 outs here in the top of the first. So that's high and outside for a ball. Misses in the same spot for ball 2. 2-0 count now. To the fifth batter here for Pittsfield. That hits the outside corner for a strike. So 1-2-1 count now. Pitch is swung on and missed. Foul tipped. Back to Pioji, who hangs on to it to even the count at 2-2. 2-2 count, runners at second and third. 2 outs. That changeup is swung on and missed. So Decker gets 2 strikeouts in the top of the first. Pittsfield leaves 2 on. We'll be back for the home half of the first after this quick break.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
First inning action ready to get underway here in the bottom half of the first. Julia Decker will lead off things for the Spartans. She'll be followed by Danny White, Mackenzie Lambert, Alyssa Pioji, Ali Abdulis, as Decker looks at ball 1 low. Jill Morosino, Cara Balboni, Mary Edwards, and Sabrina Gagne will round things off in the 9 spot. So 1-0 count now to Decker. She looks at ball 2 high. That'll miss high and outside for ball 3. It throws 3-0. 3-0 count now to Decker. Will most likely be taking here. She'll look at ball 4 and head down to first on a walk. So Decker reaches first on a 4-pitch walk. And Danny White will come up as Pittsfield has a little chat at the circle. Still yet to receive a lineup for Pittsfield, so can't help you defensively. Spartan bats have been hot lately, scoring a total of 32 runs in the last 2 games. 17 runs against Belchertown, and then another 15 against Chicopee yesterday. White looks at strike 1 on the inside corner. That'll miss high for ball. 1-1. That hits the outside corner for a strike. White falls behind in the count, 1-2. That swung on and grounded softly down the first base line. First baseman fields it. Throws on the second for the out. The throw to first will get by. Danny White will be thrown out going into second. So Pittsfield gets an unconventional double play. Going 3 to 6 to, I don't know who fielded the pass ball. Say it was the second baseman. 4 back to 6. That'll bring Mackenzie Lambert, who fouls one straight back behind the backstop, out of play. Lambert's had a hot bat lately, getting 2 home runs in the last 2 games. That one's fouled off, out of play. So 0-2 count now to Lambert. Oh, 2 pitch to Lambert. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first. And she looks at strike 3. So the Spartans go down 1-2-3. We'll be back for the home half, the top of the second.
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow.
Back here at Bridgeland for the start of the second inning. Pittsfield expecting their 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up here in the top of the second. Take a look at how the Spartans look defensively. In the outfield from left to right, Mary Edwards, Sabrina Gagne, Ali Abdulis. In the infield, Balboni at third, Danny White playing short, Jill Morosino playing second, Mackenzie Lambert at first. And the battery for today is Decker to Pioji. As the 6th batter looks at ball 1 low and inside. Elmas high and outside. Ball 2. That swung on and driven on the line, and it'll fall in to right fielder Ali Abdulis. We'll throw it in, and the 6th hitter will reach on a single. Number 33. That'll bring up Pittsfield's 7 hitter. She squares the bunt, puts down the bunt right back to Decker. She'll throw on to first for the out to Morosino as Lambert charged to cover the bunt. So 1 out. Runner on second. And that'll bring up number 16. She'll swing at the first pitch and miss for strike 1. Elmas just outside for a ball 1-1 count now to the 8 hitter for Pittsfield. Pittsfield went scoreless in the top half of the first. That'll hit off Pioji's glove and get by her. And number 33 will head on to the second on the third with the pass ball. Two 2-1 count now. That swung on and fouled back, leaving the count at 2-2. Decker getting most of the looks this season, as in the beginning of the season started out with more of a platoon with Abdulis, but lately Decker has been getting most of the starts as the count goes full. the 8-hitter. That'll miss inside for ball 4. So there'll be runners at the corners with 1 out here in the top of the second. And I'll bring up the 9-hitter for Pittsfield. That'll miss high and outside as number 16 will have to bring up to second. Wind's starting to gust here at Birchland, blowing in today. I'll make it tough for the hitters as that one's squared to bunt but fouled off. 1-1 count now. Runners at second and third for the 9-hitter. That squared to bunt, pop straight back, but it'll get out of play. She'll fall to 1 and 2. See what Decker does here. She'll change things up with a off-speed pitch. That fastball hits the outside corners for strike 3. So 2 outs here in the second. And it'll be back to the top of the order for Pittsfield. Number 23, who was walked in her first at bat. She'll look at ball 1 outside. That swung on and grounded to third. I'll get by Balboni at third, and Decker will field it. But the throw is not in time to get the out at first. So 1 run will score on the infield single by number 23. And it'll be runners at first and third with 2 outs. That's squared to bunt. She'll get it off, but picked up foul by the charging Lambert. Be 0-1. So Pittsfield playing small ball early here in the game. Majority of the batters have been squaring around a bunt. Trying to get those runners in motion, bring in some runs. That'll miss high and get off the glove of Pioji. Number 16 will come home, but they'll get the out of the plate for the 3rd out. So Pittsfield leaves 1 on the bases as the runner tries to advance home on a pass ball. We'll be back for the home half of the second after this quick break.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
Ready to get underway here in the home half of the second. Spartans will have their 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up in Alyssa Pioji, Ali Abdulis, and Jill Morcino. Pioji will get strike 1. Pioji batting .560 this season. She looks at ball 1 high. Outfield shifted for a pull hit. As the center fielder is to the left of second base. As Pioji lifts one down the third base line. But that'll get out of play, foul. Count now to the catcher. Take that one low. Just missed for ball 1. Or ball 2, sorry. That'll even the count at 2 and 2. That'll miss low for ball 3. Full count now to Pioji. been one of the Spartans' strongest hitters this season. Most of the Spartans have been strong at hitting. She looks at ball 4 for the walk. Spartan bats have really come around this season, especially in the last couple games. And Carolyn Welch will come on to pinch run for POG as Ali Abdulis steps up to the plate. That swung on and lifted down to the left field line, but that'll get out of play, foul. The 0-1 pitch to Abdulis. She squares around and gets down the bunt. Pittsfield gets the out at first, but Welch will move on to second. So 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Joe Morosino will come up to the plate. She'll bat with a runner in scoring position in Welch at second base. She'll look at ball 1 low. Adam is high and outside for ball 2. 2-0 count now. To Morosino. Got a home run against Belchertown. That swung on and fouled back. 1-2 count now. To Morosino playing second base today for the Spartans. That swung on and missed, leaving the count at 2-2. Morosino at bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Runner on second. Carolyn Welch. That swung on and missed. So Pittsfield gets their second strikeout of the day for the second out of the second inning. And then I'll bring up Balboni, who also homered in that game against Belchertown. She'll look at strike 1 on the outside corner. That swung on and lifted down the right field line. We'll get out of play onto the JV field. Bring the count to 0-2. Look good, but misses for a ball. Apparently not close enough to get a swing out of Balboni. I'll bring the count to 1-2. Not a bad 0-2 pitch from number 11, the pitcher today for Pittsfield. That swung on and lined to the shortstop, who will field it cleanly and throw on to first for the out. So Spartans leave 1 on the bases. Still scoreless here at Birchland. We'll head to the top half of the third.
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow.
Third inning action ready to get underway here at Birchland. Last inning I said it was a scoreless game, but I was wrong. I forgot that Pittsfield had scored in the top half of the second, so they lead the Spartans 1-0 as she squares around a bunt. Fouled. That'll be the second hitter for Pittsfield, number 6, sorry, who was up at plate last inning, but the third out came when a runner tried advancing home but was thrown out at the plate. So she'll get another chance here in the third. Counts 1-1. That swung on and grounded softly. Some miscommunication between catcher, pitcher, and first baseman. She'll reach safely on the infield hit. Sort of a swinging bunt from the 2-hitter. She'll be on first base. That swung on and missed. Strike 1, number 18. She'll look at that one outside for a ball. That'll even count at 1-1. So a runner on first here in the third inning. No outs. It's Pittsfield leads Spartans 1-0 after scoring a run back in the second. She'll look at that one outside for ball 2-1. Number 18 struck out in her first at bat back in the first. She'll look at that one outside. Snap throw down to first, but number 6 will get back safely. 3-1 count to the number 3 hitter. That swung on and lined softly. That'll get over Morosino's head, and the runners will advance base. That one lifted softly. Morosino couldn't time the jump, and now dropped in for a base hit. So runners on first and second here for 2 base hits. The cleanup hitter looks at that one high for a ball. She grounded out back to Decker in her first at bat. That one misses low, blocked by Pioji, but elected not to throw down to third. So runners will get to second and third on the wild pitch. That one's taken high for a ball. 3-0 count to the cleanup hitter. That one hits the inside corner for a strike. That swung on in line to right field. Abdulis settles under it, and the runner at third will tag and score. This ball couldn't be cut off cleanly. So both runners tag, and it'll be runner at third with 1 out. So the score goes to 2-0 Pittsfield. So 5-hitter swings at strike 1. She squares around and bunts. Decker fields it, looks the runner back at third. So a 5-hitter will reach on a fielder's choice. And there'll be runners at the corners with 1 out here in the third. Number 33 will come up to plate. She fouls one off into the JV field. Coach Shannon will call time and have a little talk with his infield. Pittsfield not really crushing the ball today. Most of their hits have been softly grounded or just bunted, and they've been bunted in the right places and softly grounded to places where infielders either don't have time to make the throw or it's not even worth making a play. So they'll break up the meeting. We'll get back to the action here. Runner on third, one out. That pitch misses high. Runner's at the corner, sorry. So 1-1 count now to number 33, who reached on a base hit and would later score Pittsfield's first run back in the second. That one will go high. They'll throw it down to second. And they'll get the out at second, out at home. So that must have been what Sant was talking about with them setting up the play, where if the runner on first tried to steal, White would come in and field it, allowing the runner to get to second, but cutting it off so she could throw home. And the runner at third fell for it. And the Spartans able to capitalize and get the out at home. So heads up managing by Coach Zant. And the Spartans keep their deficit to 2 runs. Steiger gets strike 2 on number 33. She grounds that one to Balboni at third. She'll throw on to first wildly. And number 33 will reach on the error, scoring the runner at third. So 2 outs here.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
Home half of the third ready to get underway here as the Spartans will have their 8-9-1 hitters coming up to the plate. Mary Edwards will lead things off for the Spartans as she looks at ball 1 low. Take that one high for ball 2. Spartans with some work to do here in the third. They trail Pittsfield 3-0. After Pittsfield put 2 runs on the board in their half of the third and 1 more in the home half of this, in the top half of the second. Almost outside for ball 3. So 3-0 count now to Edwards, who will most likely be taking all the way here with the Spartans needing to get some base runners. Does take all the way, but looks at strike 1 on the outside corner. So 3-1 count now to Edwards. He's playing left field today for the Spartans. She'll look at ball 4 high and outside. So Spartans get a leadoff runner on first with that walk. That'll bring up Sabrina Gagne. She's playing center field today for the Spartans. Looks at strike 1 on the outside corner. Misses outside for a ball. 1-1 now to Gagne. That's lifted down the first baseline and will drop in, but foul. So she'll drop down to a 1-2 count. That one looked like it was close to being fair from here. I can't see the line, so can't really tell. But it couldn't have been far from a fair ball. That's the line to center field. Number 23 settles under it as the wind pushed it back in for the first out of the third. So that ball hit well, but with that wind today, just as she hit it, a gust came in and pushed it back. You can see the center fielder tracking it back into the infield. That'll bring up the top of the order for Spartans and Julie Decker. She looks at strike one. Decker reached back in the first inning on a walk. She'll have a runner on first. That's grounded down the third baseline, foul. So she'll fall into an 0-2 count. Swung on and lifted onto the edge of the outfield, but the second baseman will settle under it. And Mary Edwards will get back to first just in time. So 2 outs after the fly out by Decker, and Danny White will step up to the plate. White grounded into an unconventional double play in her first at bat. Back in the first as she looks at ball one outside. So 2 outs here in the third. Runner on first and Mary Edwards, who reached on a walk. And Danny White will look at ball two. That's swung on and driven down the first base line. That'll get over the right fielder's head. Sends Mary Edwards home. Play at the plate. She'll slide in safely, as Danny White thought about going to third, but changed her mind midway and went back to second. So the Spartans get on the board here in the third after the double by Danny White, scoring Mary Edwards. They still trail Pittsfield by 2. Pittsfield leads 3-1. As Mackenzie Lambert will come up to the plate for the Spartans. Looks at ball one high. Lambert struck out looking back in the first. She looks at ball two. The 2-0 pitch to Lambert as she calls time. Let a gust of wind come through as it picks up some sand off of the infield. She steps back into the batter's box and will resume play. She's got a 2-0 count. She'll swing at that one for strike one. 2-1 count now to Lambert, with the runner and Danny White on second base. She'll look at ball three outside. I'm guessing Lambert will have the green light on this pitch. It'll probably be a good pitch to hit. That swung on and driven up the middle and falling for a base hit. Sand will hold White at third, and Lambert will advance to second on the throw from the center fielder. So Danny White moves to third, and Lambert, after the base hit, advances to second after center fielder fails to hit the cutoff. And Melissa Pioggi will come up to the plate. She walked in her first at bat last inning. She lines one past the second baseman, and they'll still get the out at first. That ball hit so hard that the right fielder actually had a chance to get the out at first. So the Spartans score one. They still trail Pittsfield 3-1. We'll be back for the start of the fourth after this break.
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow.
All right, we're ready to start things here in the fourth. Pittsfield will have their 8, 9, 1 hitters coming up. Number 16 will lead things off for Pittsfield. She walked first at bat. That's line softly to third base. Balboni fields in a hop. Throws short and not in time to get the out. So she'll reach on the error by Balboni. Not sure why Balboni elected to play that in the hop. Could have played it for the catch. As the 9 hitter squares the bump and pulls back for ball 1. So a runner on first for Pittsfield in number 16. As the 9 hitter squares the bunt. That'll be fouled back. Even the count at 1-1. So Pittsfield still playing small ball, which they've been doing all game. Tons of their batters have been squaring around to bunt. She'll take that one low for ball 2. Squares the bunt, gets it down. Balboni will field it, throw on to first for the out. So number 16 will move on to second. But Balboni makes the play at third to get the out at first. So 1 out here in the top half of the fourth. Pittsfield leads the Spartans 3-1. And their leadoff hitter will come up to the plate. She takes that one high and inside for a ball. Number 23 is 2 for 2 with 2 base hits on the day. Swung on and lifted back. Will get out of play for foul for strike. Leaving the count at 1-1. Still gusting here at Birchland. See the dirt moving from left to right across your screen. That swung on and missed for strike 2. Decker gets ahead here in the count, 1-2. That one will miss high enough for ball 2. Leaving the count at 2-2. So leadoff hitter, runner on second, number 16. With 1 out here in the fourth. That one's grounded up the middle. Bobbled by Decker, but she'll flip on to first for the out. And number 16 will move on to third. So number 6 will come up to the plate for Pittsfield. Showing a base hit. That one's fielded softly, grounded softly to Decker and fielded to throw on to first for the final out of the fourth. We'll be back for the home half after this quick break.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT01028.
All right, Spartans ready to get underway here in the bottom half of the fourth. They'll have Ali Abdulis, Jill Morcino, and Kara Balboni due up in this inning. Abdulis swung on and fouled that one straight back. The count to 0-1. Yeah, Abdulis grounded out to the third baseman on her first at bat back in the second. That one's lifted. Foul for strike 2. That swung on and driven high into center field. That'll be off the fence, as Abdulis will be held to a long single after the center fielder went into the wall, about the same place that Belchertown center fielder went right into the wall. Luckily for her, didn't get the same result as the Belchertown center fielder was slingshotted back about 10 feet. So Abdulis reaches on a base hit. And then Morcino will look at ball 1 high. Like I said in the Belchertown game, no warning track here at Birchland, so Morcino swings at strike 1. So the outfielders really have to rely on their fellow outfielders to let them know when the fence is coming up. And unfortunately for number 23, she received no help, as Morcino looks at ball 2 outside. On a less windy day, that ball had a chance to get out of here from Abdulis. The wind did not help that one at all, as that Morcino is fouled off into the JV field. And leaving the count at 2-2. So 2-2 count to Morcino. That swung on and flied out to center field. Number 23 gets under it and makes the play for the out. So 1 out here in the fourth, run around first, and Kara Balboni will come up to the plate. She grounded out to the shortstop back in the second. Swung on and missed for a strike. Spartans trail Pittsfield 3-1 here in the fourth, as time's called to let the dust storm roll by. Balboni steps back in for the 0-1 offering. That misses outside for ball 1-1 now. To the third baseman for the Spartans. That's lined up the middle, right back to the pitcher, number 11. And Abdulis will get back to first in time. So after the line out by Balboni, there's 2 outs here in the fourth. The runner on first, and that'll bring up Mary Edwards, who reached on a walk and scored the Spartans' only run so far. Back in the third as she swings at strike 1. The wind's not gusting. It's actually a really nice day here in East Longmeadow. Not a cloud in the sky as Edwards goes down 0-2. But when that wind gusts up, drops it down a few degrees. 0-2 offering misses high for ball 1. So 1-2 count to Mary Edwards. Ali Abdullah stands on first with 2 outs here in the home half of the 4th. That one misses low, and even the count at 2-2.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
5th inning action ready to get underway here as the Spartans trail Pittsfield 3-1. Pittsfield will have their 3 or 4 or 5 hitters coming up in the 5th. Number 18 will lead things off here for Pittsfield as she looks at ball 1. High and outside. So far this game, she's struck out and reached on a base hit, but was thrown out trying to steal home. Back in the 3rd. Should look at ball 1 low, ball 2 low. The count will go to 2-0. That'll miss high and outside for ball 3. So a 3-0 count. Here to number 18. That one misses low and inside for a 4-pitch walk. So Pittsfield gets their leadoff runner on. And they'll bring up their cleanup hitter. It was 0 for 1 today. The ground out back to Decker. And a sacrifice fly. She looks at ball 1 outside. Second offering misses outside as well for ball 2. So a 2-0 count now to the cleanup hitter. That'll miss outside for ball 3. So 7 straight balls so far from Decker to start the 5th. That'll hit for a strike. Kept it 3-1. That'll bring the count to full, hitting the inside corner. No outs here in the top half of the 5th. Spartans trail Pittsfield 3-1. That one's lined to left field. Edwards fields it and gets it in. So after that base hit, it'll be runners on first and second. Still no outs here in the 5th. The 5-hitter will come up for Pittsfield. She's reached on a fielder's choice and struck out so far in her 2 plate appearance. As she squares the bunt, gets it down. Peyote decides to throw on to 3rd, but not in time to get the out. So bases will be loaded here in the 5th with no outs. So Decker finds herself in a jam here in the 5th. That first pitch is outside to number 33. So far she's reached on an error and collected a base hit. She grounds that one foul down the 3rd baseline. Even the count at 1-1. And check Coach Sant checking with the umpire about possibly maybe that being a fair ball. 1-1 count as that swung on and missed for a strike. So Decker gets ahead here, 1-2. Bases loaded, no outs here in the top half of the fifth. Spartans trail Pittsfield 3-1. Decker tries to get out of this jam. Framed nicely, but missed just outside for a ball. That'll even the count at 2-2. POG framed that one for the umpire, but he didn't like it as that one's grounded through the shortstop and third base. Mary Edwards throws on to home to hold the runner at third. But a run will score after that base hit. And the bases will stay loaded here in the fifth. As the Pittsfield now leads 4-1 over East Long Meadow. Coach Sant goes out to have a talk with his fielders. Going over what to do with the ball if it's hit to you. They'll break up the meeting and we'll resume play here in the fifth. Be the 7-hitter for Pittsfield. She's 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a line out. As she looks at ball one high and outside. That's the line softly foul down the third baseline. Even the count at 1-1. Bases loaded here in the fifth as that one's grounded softly. Not able to be fielded cleanly by White. And another run will score. Even if Danny White fielded that cleanly, I don't think they were going to be able to get the out at first. So, another run in here in the fifth for Pittsfield. Still no outs. As that one misses and gets by POG. POG having a tough time behind the plate today. A couple balls going off her glove. Getting by her. Luckily nothing has resulted in a run yet, but Adam is outside for a ball. 2-0 now to number 16. Who is 0 for 1 today. She reached on an error and a walk back in the second, sorry. She looks at ball 3. Swung on and fouled off. 3-1 count now. It's number 16. Bases loaded here in the fifth. Pittsfield has already scored 2 runs this inning, bringing their lead to 5-1. As that one's driven in the infield. That'll be another base hit, scoring another run. Is still loaded here in the fifth. Still no outs. This 9-hitter comes up to bat for Pittsfield. She struck out and grounded out today. That misses outside for a ball. 1-1. Pittsfield finding that hole between third and short. Most of their hits as they find it again. Zal get by for another base hit. And another run. So that'll bring us back to the top of the order for Pittsfield. 4 runs across the plate so far in the 5th. Bases are still loaded and no outs. Number 23 comes up to bat for Pittsfield. That one misses inside for a ball. All 3 of their hits have found that hole between short and third, as that one's grounded foul up the third baseline. Even the count at 1-1. That swung on and grounded softly to short. White throws on to third to get the out. Balboni covering, but a run scores. So Spartans have 1 out here in the 5th. Runners at first and second. And number 6 takes ball 1 outside. That one misses low. For ball 2. So 2-0 count. So that one's grounded. Balboni will field it and step on third for the force out. And the second out of the 5th. That one misses outside to number 18 as Pittsfield has batted around this inning. Number 18 reached on a walk earlier in this inning as she lifts one to center field. Abdulis settles under it, makes a catch for the final out. So the Spartans give up 5 here in the 5th. They trail Pittsfield 8-1. We'll be back for the home half after this quick break.
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow.
Spartans with some work to do here in the home half of the 5th as they trail Pittsfield 8-1 after giving up 5 runs in the first half of this inning. Spartans will have their 9-1-2 hitters come out. Gagne will lead things off as she looks at ball 1 high. Ball 2. 2-0 count now to Gagne, who's flied out to center field. In her only previous at bat of the day. Offering low for ball 3. 3-0 count. Gagne probably going to take this one. The Spartans desperate for base runners. That one misses high for ball 4. Spartans have a leadoff runner here in the 5th, as I have in every inning with the exception of the 3rd. Just not able to capitalize on getting base runners on. Stacker will take strike 1. Decker's reached on a walk and flew out to second so far in this game. That one's grounded field on a hop by the third baseman. Will get the out at second, and not in time to get the out at first. So Decker will reach on a fielder's choice. After a nice pick at third by number 33. It was a look what I found kind of play where she just stuck her glove out. Danny White looks that ball one high. So Spartans have a runner on first, and Julia Decker will reach on a fielder's choice. One out here in the fifth. They trail Pittsfield 8-1. So White looks at ball too low and outside. That's lined softly down the first base line. He'll drop in for a base hit. Decker running into the umpire on her way to second. So he calls time and will give her second base after the base hit by Danny White. So one out here in the fifth. Spartans runners on first and second. And Mackenzie Lambert will come out to the plate. She struck out in the first and reached in the second as she crushes one over the fence for a 3-run home run. And the Spartans will chip away at the lead. And they'll still trail by 4. Pittsfield has the lead 8-4 now after the home run by Lambert. So Lambert has 3 home runs in just as many games. Third home run of the season. And gets the Spartans within 4. That'll miss inside for ball 1 to Pioji. That'll miss high. Pioji ducks out of the way. And that's grounded to the second baseman who fields it and throws on the first for the out. So 2 outs here in the fifth. Spartans get within 4 of Pittsfield after the 3-run home run by Mackenzie Lambert. I'll bring Ellie Abdulis up to the plate. She grounds it to the shortstop. She'll field cleanly and throw on to first for the final out of the fifth. So the Spartans chip away at the lead. They're down 4. Pittsfield leads 8-4 after 5. We'll be back for the 6th after this quick break.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
We're back here for the start of the 6th as the Spartans look to hold Pittsfield and keep their momentum going after putting 3 runs on the board last inning with the home run by Lambert. And it's the 4-hitter for Pittsfield. Squares the bunt but pulls back for strike 1. Pittsfield still leads East Longmeadow 8-4. That'll hit the outside corner for strike and leaving the count at 1-1. Miss outside for a ball. 2-1 now to the cleanup hitter for Pittsfield. who is 1 for 2 today. That one's lined to left fielder Mary Edwards. She'll get it in to second. And she'll reach with the base hit. That'll bring up the 5-hitter for Pittsfield. She scored 2 runs today. And struck out back in the first. She squares the bunt, pulls back, and looks at ball high. Even the count at 1-1. Bunted to Decker, who fields it and throws on to first for the out. And number 8 will move on to second with the sacrifice bunt. Pittsfield keeping that small ball game going, even with the 4-run lead here in the 6th. That one's lifted. Center fielder Sabrina Gagne calls off Edwards, makes the catch for the second out as they appeal the tag at second, but ruled safe. So it'll be a runner on first here with 2 outs in the 6th. That's lifted to center field. Wind messing with it. As Gagne can't get a read on it, it'll fall in. And the run will score. The wind really messed with that one. I could see it from here. That's a tough one to get a read on, but it'll fall just in front of Gagne. And a run will score after the base hit. Hitter for Pittsfield. That one's fouled off for strike 1. Two outs, 1 on for Pittsfield, who scored once already this inning to increase their lead to 5. They lead the Spartans 9-4. That misses low for ball 2. 2-1 count. Now to the hitter. That one's fouled back, leaving the count at 2-2. That's fouled off to the JV field dangerously, and luckily misses everyone. So the count will stay at 2-2 as the 8-hitter stays alive here in the 6th. That one's lifted to center field. Gagne settles under it and will make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So Pittsfield scores 1. We'll be back for the home half of the 6th after this break.
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow.
Spartans will have their 6, 7, 8 hitters here in the home half of the 6th as they look to keep chipping away at the lead Pittsfield has over them. Pittsfield leads 9-4. Morcino looks at ball 1 low. Morcino 0 for 2 today, striking out back in the 2nd and flying out to center field in the 4th. That swung on and lifted to shallow center field. Some miscommunication as the right fielder comes in charging, but can't catch it. So Morcino will reach on the error. So some miscommunication in the outfield. It's kind of hit in no man's land. The triangle of second base, right field, and center field. Someone called it off towards the end, but I'm not sure who did. Balboni looks at strike one. Balboni 0 for 2 today as she's grounded out to the shortstop and lined out to the pitcher on a shot straight up the middle. That swung on a miss for strike 2. So she'll go down 0-2 with a runner on first. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Spartans trail Pittsfield 9-4. Swung on a miss for a strikeout. So Balboni goes down swinging for the first out in the 6th. That'll bring up Mary Edwards. Reached on a walk back in the 3rd. Later scored that inning. And then struck out in the 4th. Take that one for strike 1 at the knees. That hits for strike 2, so she goes down 0-2 quickly here in the 6th. Sant goes over to talk with the umpire. Not sure what about. Oh, this isn't even Mary Edwards. So they must be talking about the substitution. This is Katie Novak pinch hitting here for Edwards. It's tough to tell from out here. I don't usually get to see the numbers, but so Novak will be pinch hitting for Edwards. She finds herself in an 0-2 count. So that's all settled out. We'll get back underway here in the 6th. That swung on a miss for strike 3 for the 2nd out of the 6th. Now bring up Sabrina Gagne. Who looks at strike 1. So number 11 finding the strike zone late here. She's thrown nothing but strikes this inning. With the exception of a ball to Jill Morcino. So that one misses outside to even the count at 1-1. This is low 2-1 now to Gagne. Reach on the block and flown out to center field in her 2 plate appearances today. That's taken for strike and leaving the count at 2-2. Runner on first here for the Spartans, and Jill Morcino, who reached on an error. 2 outs after the 2 strikeouts. Spartans find themselves in a 5-run hole. As Gagne takes ball 3 low. Pittsfield leads the Spartans 9-4. Here in the 6th. Spartans starting to run out of outs. Down to the last 4. That one's fouled off at the plate. She'll stay alive at full count. That swung on and grounded, played by the 3rd baseman. She'll throw on to first for the final out of the 6th. the Spartans go down scoreless here in the 6th, they still trail Pittsfield 9-4. We'll be back for the last inning after this quick break.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
Start of the 7th inning. Pittsfield will have number 14 lead things off as she squares around a bunt. Decker will field cleanly and throw on to first for the first out. So one pitch and one out. As the Spartans get off to a good start defensively here in the 7th. As they look to hold Pittsfield scoreless. It's fielded by Balboni at third. Throwing on to first. Out. So 2 pitches and 2 outs. That'll bring up 2-hitter number 6. Pittsfield. She swings at the 3rd pitch of the inning. Grounds softly to Decker. So Spartans on 3 pitches get 3 outs. We'll be back for the last half of the 7th after this quick break. Yeah.
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow.
Spartans down to their final 3 outs. Here in the bottom of the 7th, they trail Pittsfield 9-4. After getting the kind of ending they were looking for defensively, getting 3 outs. Last half inning, as Julia Decker looks at ball 1 low, trying to help herself out with a hit here. That's popped into the outfield. Diving try by the left fielder, but she can't catch it, and that'll be a fair ball. So Jules will reach on the base hit. Outfielders having a tough time today for both teams with this wind. As that one had to mess with it as it was hit high, giving the left fielder a tough time out there. Umpire calls time. White is 2 for 3 today with a double and a base hit. She looks at ball 2. Ball 1, sorry. Almost high and outside for ball 2. Spartans need 5 to tie it here in the 7th. They have a runner on first with no outs. Danny White is up at the plate. That's lined into the outfield. Center field number 23 will settle under it and make the catch for the first out. Spartans down to their final 2 outs. So Mackenzie Lambert steps up. Lambert homered earlier in this game to chip away at the lead. Leading the Spartans to 8-4 deficit. And then Pittsfield will later score another run in the 6th. Bring it to a 9-4 lead as the Pittsfield coach goes out to talk with his infield. Spartans will be on the road for the next couple games. They'll be at South Hadley on the 28th and Northampton on the 29th. Be back home on May 2nd for a game against Chicopee. After beating Chicopee yesterday, 15-1 at their place. Lambert fouls one off the catcher's mask. And they count to 0-1. Lambert grounds that one softly to the shortstop. She'll look at second. Throw on to first, but not in time. As Lambert won't reach on the base hit. Shortstop thought about trying to be out at second. Someone starts to gust here. But decided to throw on to first. However, not in time to get the out in Lambert. So it'll be runners on first and second with one out for Alyssa Pioji. She looks at strike one. That one's popped straight up. Catcher finds it and is not able to make the catch. So Pioji gets another life. Just an 0-2 count here in the 7th. That one just misses. The pitcher wanted that one real bad. That'll miss low and outside. And they count to 1-2. That'll miss high to even the count of 2-2. Pioji hitless today. They're reaching in their first at bat on a walk and then grounding out. Their next two at bats. Back in the third, she grounded out to the right fielder. Actually, that ball was hit so hard. The right fielder actually had a chance to make the play. As Pioji looks at the ball to reload it. Bring the count to full. Payoff pitch to Pioji. That swung on and grounded to the first baseman. She'll bobble it, but recover and step on first for the out. So 2 outs here in the 7th. Runners on second and third for Abdulis. So 1 for 3 today. Time. Let it pass for a second. Spartans down to their final out in Abdulis. That one misses outside for a ball. Spartans trail Pittsfield by 5. Pittsfield leads 9-4. Must have missed inside for a ball. 2-0 count now to Abdulis. That one's lined right to the first baseman who'll make the catch for the final out of the game. So the Spartans dropped this one 9-4 to Pittsfield. East Longmeadow moved to a 6-3 overall record. And since this wasn't a conference game, it won't affect their 2-1 Valley Wheel record. So the Spartans get some help with a home run by Mackenzie Lambert, but it's just not enough to come back against Pittsfield. For LCAT Sports, I'm Nick Balboni, joined alongside Nick Hansman on the camera. We'll see you next time.